Welcome back to Simply Bitcoin. It's actually kind of a special edition of Simply Bitcoin, right? It's the Simply Bitcoin Toxic Happy Hour. But anyways, we break down the news from Twitter, the daily fail, meme review, software releases, hardware releases, and the websites by plebes or plebs. Joining us today, we've got Danish and we've got Pubby, fellow Bitcoiners that run the Toxic Bitcoin Happy Hour. Anyways, let's go to the numbers. Let's do it, people.
Number time! Sponsored by Bitcoin 2022.
All right, at the time of this recording, the block height is 705,023. The Bitcoin price, 57,730. Chain rewrite days, 846. Total public lightning capacity, 3,072.21. Sats per dollar or Moscow time, 1732. Blocks to the halvening, 134,977.
Man,
Look at us go.
Look at us go, and dude, I feel like it literally the same exact numbers yesterday, like word for word. I think the Lightning Network capacity was at 3,088 yesterday. Today it's at 3,072. But the price was exactly the same. The sats per dollar was exactly the same. Yeah, so the percentage to his all-time high was exactly the same. But you know what wasn't the same, Phil? The block height.
This is true. This is true. The block height has changed. This is the new signal. The block height. We're going with that for the new signal. The signal is the lightning capacity and the block height.
The noise is the price. Ignore the price, guys. Focus on the block height. That's the signal. TikTok next block. Anyways, Phil, it's time for it.
The Daily Fail. Sponsored by Pirate Hash. All right. Shout out to @Nimzobit for tagging us in this. Opensea had a security bug. So today's fail, we are going to dive into Opensea. Lots of fun. Lots of fun, Opensea. Huh?
Another one?
Yeah, another one. No, but this is, you'll see, this is slightly different, but it's a fail of more like epic proportions in a different way, and you'll see why.
Okay.
You'll see why, because this calls upon some historical Bitcoin failure, right? This calls upon there was a serious affinity scam that took place because Bitcoin time is completely warped. It either took place last year or 2 years ago. I don't remember, but we're gonna get to it in a second. I don't want to confuse everyone. You'll see. Well, I'll tie it together. Let's start off with this Opensea fail, and then we'll dive into the rest. Here we go. Checkpoint research prevents theft of crypto wallets, shitcoin wallets on Opensea, the world's largest NFT marketplace. During the past few weeks, Checkpoint researchers spotted various cases where people tweeted reports claiming they lost their shitcoin wallet balance while receiving a free gift on the Opensea marketplace. That's a gift, all right. Anyways, Opensea recorded 3.4 billion in transaction volume in August 2021 alone and has grown to be the largest marketplace for non-fungible tokens of the shitcoin world. Oh. Good for them. Lately, several reports surfaced claiming digital wallets of merchants disappeared, leaving collectors to lose hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of NFTs. Imagine hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of JPEGs.
That's a lot of JPEGs, man.
That's a lot of JPEGs, man. That's right. A lot of disk space. Or not.
Read the screenshot from Twitter.
Oh, sure.
It literally sounds just like Vitalik. Stop the trading! Or that other guy with the comp fail, which he was like, if any of you guys touch this, we're gonna tell the IRS. We know who you are. And bro, the shitcoiners, man. They have a Freudian slip of centralization when they speak. And right there, if you're getting airdropped random NFTs, do not touch them. People have been getting hacked. They love telling people what to do. Anyways, I'm sorry.
No worries. The reports, and I mean, come on, you're absolutely right. You know, it sounds ridiculous. And of course, that only happens in the shitcoin world. Anyways, the reports further speculated that by accepting the gift or pressing on the link to Opensea, the receiver loses all his cryptocurrencies. Such example, along with others that reported different scams within this marketplace, motivated our researchers to look and find vulnerabilities within the platform. No shit. Which could have allowed scammers and hackers to hijack accounts and steal the shitcoins from the digital wallets. On a later correspondence conducted by CPR, which is this checkpoint company, Checkpoint Research, with one victim, he confirmed interacting with an airdropped NFT object prior to the account theft. Checkpoint researchers responsibly disclosed these vulnerabilities to Opensea, who immediately implemented fixes to mitigate them. Anyways, the fact that you could get away with this is just absolutely ridiculous. And before we're not even going to dive in, because the rest of the article is very technical, and it explains essentially so we're going to have the link in the show notes so people could dive into it. But really what we're examining in this fail is Opensea itself, and how the same scammers, they kind of come around, right? They're always just around, and they're always just scamming. So we're going to dive into to Opensea. Here we go. Building an open digital economy. At Opensea, we're excited about a brand new type of shitcoin called a non-fungible token. They have exciting new properties, they're unique, provably scarce, tradable, usable across multiple applications, just like physical goods. You can do whatever you want with them. All right, fine. Anyways, not saying that there isn't space for a non-fungible token, I just don't think that it necessarily has to be quote-unquote money, and I don't think that it should be shilled as an automatic investment. That's all. Anyways, let's dive into this because, like I was saying, same scammers are always around. They are backed by top firms. QuantStamp is one of those. Now, for the people who don't remember, QuantStamp is one of those companies that provides auditing services, right? So they're backed by one of these companies that offers auditing services, and it's interesting that scams just took place on their platform when one of their backers is an auditing service. Anyways, that's not even the worst part of the scam. That's just part of the stupidity here that goes on in the shenanigans. Okay, let's go take a look at some of the people that are behind this. Now, I'm pretty sure I could have gone and dug up a whole bunch of dirt on a whole bunch of people, but we're just going to focus on a couple of people and a few stories. All right, so already you're seeing we've got the banana coin man himself, the guy who shills Doge, the guy who shits on Bitcoin, but in the meantime, was involved with shilling you a total shitcoin in 2017 and being fined for it, Mark Cuban, right? We've also got Balaji. Right? Now, some people, for some reason, don't know that he's a total shitcoin scammer. But he is. Anyways, and we're going to show his relation to the shitcoin scamming in a second. And we've got Naval. Now, a lot of people, don't get me wrong, I totally respect Naval's out there tweets, okay? On the philosophical standpoint, I respect that, but the shitcoining and the affinity scams, no thank you. We can do without those. And of course, for some reason, I don't know why, Ashton Kutcher seems to be alongside Mark Cuban with the scamming. He was alongside him in Unicoin Gold.
You had Kevin Durant on there too.
Yeah, we had the basketball player, but who cares? No, like, I mean, honestly, I couldn't care less. Like, really, not to be a dick, but like, what's he doing? Money. Okay, great. Anyways, it's just a really good name to put there, right? Kevin Durant, great. Okay, so, you remember what I was saying? Right? Mark Cuban, Ashton Kutcher. So here we go. Mark Cuban, Ashton Kutcher backed crypto firm to pay SEC fine for illegal sale of securities. Okay? And this was back in 2020, but it really happened in 2017. Unicorn raised $31 million via initial coin offering in 2017. They reached a settlement with the SEC without admitting or denying the charges, right? The Unicoin token peaked at $2 in 2017 and is now worth, there you go, 1 cent today, and it's actually worth even less because you cannot trade it or buy it or do or sell it or anything. Anyways, the investments came from Mark Cuban, Ashton Kutcher, Anthony Delorio, co-founder of the biggest Hydra shitcoin, Ethereum. Now, let's go back to some of this other shitcoin scamming, right? Balaji. Now, back in, like I said, a year or two ago, I don't remember, there was an affinity scam that took place, okay, called Nakamoto.com. And Nakamoto.com, what it did was it presented to be about Bitcoin. But really, if you looked behind the sheets, there was a lot of shitcoiners involved. Anyways, when Satoshi Nakamoto invented Bitcoin, he solved an unsolved problem in computer science, developed the foundation for a new digital theory of property rights, and gave birth to a $100 billion industry, right? That's what's important to them, that big industry that he built, the $100 billion industries. How do we get a piece of that? All right, let's take a look at some of the contributors to Nakamoto.com. Oh, look at this. We've got Balaji. Look at that. We've got Vitalik. Naval. Well, we've got Brian Armstrong. And, of course, right, the Winklevi. And, of course, can't go wrong with Meltem, right? Everybody remembers Meltem, you know. She was part of the, she was part of the group that was pushing the New York agreement. So take a look at this, right? And all these scammers, how does this relate all back to Opensea? Again, I understand. People want to collect and pay for JPEGs. That's your business. Nothing wrong with that. You want to actually pay for that stuff and, you want to own the hash behind it and that's important to you? Absolutely. But when you're shilling it as an investment and you're shilling it that it's going to go up just because it's going to go up, I'm very sorry. You're going to go through the same craze as the baseball cards and the collectible cards in the 80s. You're going to go through the Beanie Baby stuff. It's going to be the same crap.
No, yeah, man. And look, that segment proved the point that we've been trying to make, right? And you really brought the receipts, Phil, in the sense that, the ICO boom of 2017 was the mechanism in which these people separated you away from your Bitcoin, and now it's the NFT boom, right? And that is the new kind of scheme to separate you from Bitcoin. Now, in regards to all those Silicon Valley guys, the VC guys, the reason that they're so hyped on blockchain and crypto is because Bitcoin is extremely hard to monetize. It just works. Right? So really, there's really no rent-seeking parasitic things in Bitcoin, right? Like, what are you going to do? You could be a Bitcoin exchange, but then you're going to make, a fraction of the costs and fees. A Strike now has the fees at 0.03%, right? So again, the reason that VCs are so attracted to shitcoin and all these projects is because they have this mentality of move fast, break things, right? Bitcoin is the exact opposite. Move slowly, don't break things, right? If you want the base layer of the world, to be, strong and trustworthy, right? You better hope, right, that there isn't any of these mishaps where there's $166 million rug pull from Comp or, this exploitation from Opensea, right? So listen, like, I get that they're investing in tech, but again, it's not tech that's actually going to improve people's lives. It's just another scam to separate people away from their Bitcoin. And they put the big names on there on purpose, right? Mm-hmm. It's to literally to get confidence in people. It's like, oh, look at all these people. You could trust us. We have the blue check marks, whatever. But at the end of the day, you're much better for yourself if you just buy and hold Bitcoin. Stay humble, stack sats, you avoid all that BS, and you won't get rug pulled. Anyways, Hunter Biden, what do you DJ Anders, what do you think?
I think if they want my approval for that, they got to remember 10% for the big guy. That's it. Don't record that, though. This is between us, okay? We do the 10%. Just go ahead. Just blue tack that mother. It's fine. Let's roll with it, man. Let's go big. I think they're being unambitious with 100 billion. I think we should do 100 trillion, and just 10%. That's it.
He's a smooth operator. This guy. He's a smooth operator.
Smooth operator. And for anyone who's new to the show, that is sarcasm. That's humor. But anyways, Pubby, what do you think? What do you think of, dude? We just do this literally every day of just rug pull after rug pull, scam after scam. But I must say, Phil, that this scam is a lot more intricate. It's a lot more complex, right? They got some really big names behind backing them, to establish that legitimacy.
It's all companies, man. It's all centralized garbage.
Mm-hmm. They have CEOs.
Don't buy NFTs instead of Bitcoin. It's not money. It's not an automatic investment. I'm sorry, Pubby.
Pubby, what do you think?
I just had a phone call from Yellow. He says banana bread. Are we talking about banana bread here?
Cordano.
Buy some Cordano.
I love that video. I'm so addicted to that video. I wish I could show that at work. I swear to God.
So, man, every year, every 4 years, the same scams come up, and this is why you guys do what you do. This is why we do what we do. I think you're paid a little bit better than we are. We make $11 every 3 years. I had one $8 tip. On strike.
Wait, you get tips?
Yeah, I got one $8 tip and then a $3 tip together in the same year. I don't know if I have to report that shit to the IRS or not, but I will tell you this: I feel like I'm making a difference in life. You know, Andrew, well, he used to be Anders, now he's fucking Hunter. So I got to move forward. I'm trying to save the world, one Bitcoin and one pedophile at the time over here. Apparently, this is what we have. Now, looking back, man, it's the same fucking scam over and over and over. And this is what you guys do. This is what we do. We call it out, man, because the people coming in have no clue what has happened. And here we are. We will call this shit out every time.
Absolutely, man. And you know, that's why we love you guys so much. We will not, and I said this also at Bitcoin 2021.
You run Simply Bitcoin, a YouTube show where you cover the daily news every single day. A lot of pre-coiners watch your show and they get orange pilled through your show. And you and your co-host Phil Koinicaris, you guys are toxic on that show. You know, how has toxicity been beneficial in that aspect?
Yeah, so when we started Simply Bitcoin, me and Phil always had this, you know, we will have no masters, right? Yes. We will not take sponsors from people, from companies that we don't use ourselves, that we don't agree with. We will not be bought. And that was so important.
We will not censor ourselves. And Toxic Happy Hour, they don't censor themselves either. And guess what, guys? There's a lot more money selling your soul than there is keeping your soul and keeping your reputation, because there's a lot of people that were willing to pay you a lot of money so that you could use your name, just like Mark Cuban, just like Kevin Durant, just like Ashton Kutcher, right? They're putting their names there because they know that inspires confidence in people that are uninitiated that are just getting into the Bitcoin and shitcoin industry, you know? So our goal is, as much as Toxic Happy Hour, you know, there's not a lot of money in it yet, but we do it because we love Bitcoin, right? And we stand for the truth, and the truth is Bitcoin. Anyways, Phil, it's time for
the Daily Meme Review, sponsored by
Citadel 21. All right, everybody, the first meme for today, it is brought by a blue check mark, but it is Charlie Shrem. He definitely has a very, very interesting story. I would say an OG Bitcoiner, dude. And he was a casualty at first. He actually served some jail time. But anyways, let's get to his meme. If you understand how fundamentally disruptive Bitcoin will be for society, and its current economic system, Bitcoin, government, Bitcoin. And yeah, man, it's absolutely. The governments think that they could regulate Bitcoin. Bitcoin will regulate governments. Anyways, moving on. Next one brought to us by the Meme Factory. Can't take you guys anywhere. Any social settings of Bitcoiners. This is gold. This is me. This is like literally like I don't have any friends now. My friends are on Twitter because no one. It's like, oh, you want to invite Nico? Oh, this guy's just gonna talk about this revolution. Anyways, next one brought to us by Yellow. Gordano. Anyways, good morning, Bitcoin Twitter. Son, you can't just be on Bitcoin Twitter all day. What would your father say? The little kid. Fucking commies want to take away my freedom. Epic memes. Epic. And because they're so epic. What is that? That's not even a word. Because they're so, I'm going to stand in solidarity with Hunter Biden, DJ Anders, and give this a beer, but it's a freedom beer because it has 556 rounds in it and some 9mm hollow points, baby. What about you, Phil? What would you give that meme?
All right, so I am giving it this. I just received it today because I'm a sucker for buying stuff. I got the Blockstream Jade hardware wallet. and I am going to take it apart because I'm pretty sure there is an M5 stick inside of there. I'm really good at taking stuff apart. I'm really good at breaking things, but I'm not good at making things. So we'll see how this turns out. This might become a piece of junk. It may just become a doorstop. We'll see.
Phil, you have so much junk in your basement already. That's not...
I know, but this is another hardware wallet to try out, right? So, and I have to say the user experience so far has been pretty cool. Awesome. It has been pretty easy to use, yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I definitely want to get...
That's not a paid shill. I'm just saying.
No, dude, we always say the sponsors that we're actually paid for, okay? We don't say anything else.
I'm just saying.
Just to clarify, guys. But Hunter Biden, what would you give? I mean, DJ Anders, what would you give that meme?
So which meme are we talking about? I think there was 3, right?
Yep. We're putting them all together.
Whatever.
Or you could rate them individually. It's really up to you.
You could rate them individually if you want.
Oh, yeah. So the first one, where I saw there was government in there in the meme, my rating is "Let's go, Brandon! Let's go, Brandon!" So that's my first rating. The second one was from the Meme Factory, and as much as it was hilarious, it was really good. It was funny, but everybody knows the Meme Factory doesn't exist, so I can't give it a rating because it doesn't exist. But it was funny though. The third one was that was DJ Yellow, and since he's a fellow DJ Yellow, shout out from DJ Danish. That was funny, man.
Boom! I don't even have to put any editing in there. It's all boom. Awesome scores, guys. Before I ask Pubby what his scores are, we want to specify we are apolitical on Simply Bitcoin. We don't lean left. We don't lean right. We lean orange. We lean for the Orange Party. That means we stand for individual freedoms. We could care less about the Democrats or the Republicans. They're just as corrupt. Fiat governments. Just to specify. Anyways.
May I say, though?
Yes, sir.
I agree, but as long as you remember 10% for the big guy. All right, over to you.
There's always 10% for the big guy, DJ Hunter.
Okay, Pubby.
Hunter Hodl. He's Hunter Hodl, actually.
Hunter Hodl. Pubby.
Hunter Hodl.
Pubby, what would you give those memes?
Well, in the interest of time, I'm just going to lump them all together. One, I'm looking around the room. What do I value the most in life? And let me tell you something, man. The slipper. The fucking slipper. Mm-hmm. Because I tell you what, this is the most valuable thing you'll ever travel with around the world. Always have your slippers.
I completely agree, dude. I wear my slippers with socks, and I wear them anywhere, and I don't care. And the more that NGU technology keeps doing its thing, the more and more I look like a homeless person. It's honestly because of comfort and OPSEC, so it kills 2 birds with 1 stone. Anyways,
but
guys.
But now everybody knows you're looking like a bum. So they're expecting you to look like a bum.
But dude, it's
you got to look like you have more corn than everyone else.
Yeah,
you got to buy the Louis, bro.
That's true. Anyways, guys, do you agree with our scores? Do you disagree? Let us know down in the comments. And join our Telegram group because we need Bitcoin memes to review. Because it's a Bitcoin meme review. But anyways, Phil, it's time for
the Daily News, sponsored by Crypto Cloaks.
All right, everybody. This is some big news. The SEC Investor Education official account dropped an extremely big hint. I just want to specify, I don't give a fuck about a Bitcoin ETF, but it is a big deal for some people. We're Simply Bitcoin. We have to report the news. So apparently a Bitcoin ETF is on the way, and that could potentially be good for the price. Again, I just don't care about a Bitcoin ETF, so I'm the wrong guy to ask about that. Do any of you guys care about this?
Fuck. ETFs to me, I could give 2 shit. Fuck that. I don't care about ETFs. Fuck it.
And the DJ Hunter?
Yeah. So let me tell you about ETFs. An ETF essentially is a Bitcoin checking account with a negative interest rate because of the admin. So that's how I look at it. I mean, if that's the only way certain institutions or funds or whatever can hold Bitcoin, let them do it. Let them pay the negative interest rate by having an admin fee. But otherwise, I mean, for the rest of us, probably it won't be useful. But it sure will pump the price. It will pump it hard. I don't know if any of you have seen the graphs of the price of gold back when the ETFs were introduced. It went ballistic, and there was no reason for gold to go ballistic. We have a reduction in supply. The stock to flow. So if this gets approved next week, it's going to go absolutely nuts in Q4.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, cool, awesome. I'm glad we had someone who was educated on the matter, right? So it's mostly for institutional investors to get exposure to Bitcoin without having to self-custody. But again, for the plebs, not really so useful. However, for, the caca price, or like we call it on this show, the fiat to Bitcoin price, right? It could cause a potential, a potential pump, right? Because I guess a lot of institutional money coming in. But again, guys, we don't like to speculate on the show. Phil?
You know what I like about the price, actually? This is what I'm starting to, the way I'm framing it. It really helps in terms of getting attention. So you know what? It's like the price, it doesn't really matter, but it's fantastic for getting attention on Bitcoin. And then the right people, right? Because let's face it, I forget who it was that said it, but we all find Bitcoin when we deserve to, and we all get it when we deserve to. And that's the thing, right? It'll get out to more and more people, and the message will get out to more and more, and there'll be more hodlers out there, right? More people that get what is happening with our monetary system.
I'm just worried that a lot of these institutional, funds or whatever are holding a bunch of people's pensions or holding a bunch of other people's money, and they don't understand that they don't need them anymore. They could just take their money out and buy Bitcoin and custody it themselves, right? So that's kind of like another angle of it as well, right? But anyways, we're neutral about it. But anyways, yeah.
Sorry, maybe there's going to be like a massive dumbing down. Oh, wait, that's already happening. Okay, forget it. I'm sorry. Continue.
Anyways, guys, the cat is out of the effing bag. They can't hide it anymore. We have been calling this since January. They went from there is no inflation to there's transitory inflation to Powell even said it's frustrating. You can't hide it anymore. So anyways, check out, page on the Wall Street Journal. U.S. inflation is highest in 13 years as price surge 5%. I might add, that's the CPI, which conveniently leaves out energy and food. So it's much higher than 5%. Anyways, the rapid rise in consumer prices in May reflected a surge in... Again, Phil, here's the signal. Pay attention to the signal. May reflected a surge in demand and shortages of labor and materials. They don't mention the ridiculous amount of money printing. And when you print money, guess what happens? Basic supply and demand. When there's a lot of supply of something, the value of it goes down. When there's less supply of something, the value of that stays higher. So they're still blaming this on the event that's happening that made people sick around the world, that apparently caused a supply chain crisis. Well, that is a crisis, but that isn't the main cause of inflation. The main cause of inflation is the ridiculous amount of money printing that absolutely no one is talking about, right? Even the Fed has to admit, because there's no hiding it anymore. Remember the 4th of July when the White House came out with that propaganda tweet that said, you saved 16 cents compared to last year? They were trying to hide it. They've been trying to hide this, suppress this all year long, but they can no longer do so. Check out this article from The Hill. The Federal Reserve officials concerned inflation could last longer than they currently assumed, right? And then Phil basically showed a whistleblower that's not going to be working at the Fed anymore and for a long period of time, that even said that this thing might last for a very long time, right? And what is the government's response, right, to this? Because people are starting to feel this. They're starting to feel the pressure. they announced, this is an article from the New York Times, Social Security benefits to rise 5.9% in 2022. They want you to know that is the biggest rise in Social Security benefits in the last 4 decades, right? And again, why are they doing this? They're trying to keep your attention away from the problem at hand, which is this is the end of the fiat cycle. They're not going to be able to pay for these Social Security benefits that they're raising. They're printing money into oblivion. How do I say they're not going to be able to pay for it? They said it themselves. This is an article that we covered August 31st. Social Security Trust Fund now projected to run out of money sooner than expected due to the thing that I can't say Treasury says. The Social Security Trust Fund most Americans rely on for their retirement will run out of money in 12 years. But they want you to know that apparently they have enough money to give you 5%, 6% more benefits just to keep your mind distracted away from the inflation problem. It's absolutely hilarious. But anyways, again, here's some more signal. The circumstances which were exacerbated by the sickness of the world threatened to shrink retirement payments and increase healthcare costs for Americans in old age sooner than expected. Again, the money printer is named, it isn't mentioned anywhere. And guess what, guys? Governments are absolutely shitting their pants. And the reason that they're shitting their pants is because they know the gig is up. And they're going to try to do a bait and switch to try to remain relevant. And that bait and switch is the transition to central bank digital currencies, right? And let me read you this article from The Guardian, right? And a British banker goes out and even says it, right? And he's blaming the future financial crisis that is really caused by the absurd amount of money printing that we're showing you, right? That we've been
call this.
We've been calling all of this, Phil. It's absurd. It's absurd that independent content creators are telling more of the truth, right, than any mainstream media outlet, right? You saw that also with Joe Rogan when he had Gupta on his show, right? The CNN anchor, and he asked him straight up why CNN was lying, and Gupta says, yeah, they shouldn't be lying. Independent content creators, because we have no masters, are able to tell you the truth. Anyways, let's continue with the article. Bitcoin could trigger financial meltdown. When the meltdown happens, because of the absurd amount of money printing, they will use Bitcoin as a scapegoat. But again, there's a lot of signal here. A senior Bank of England policymaker has warned that the digital currency such as Bitcoin could trigger a financial meltdown unless governments step forward with tougher regulations. They want to kill it. And the reason they want to kill it is because they want to take away that escape valve. Likening the growth of Bitcoin and shitcoins to the spiraling value, of course, they're connecting it to the subprime mortgage. The deputy governor, Sir John Cudliffe, said there was danger financial markets could be rocked for a few years by event of similar magnitude. But guess what, Phil? Look who this guy works for. Cunliffe has played a central role in monitoring Bitcoin and shitcoins over recent years as an advisor to the G20's Financial Stability Board and the central bank's overarching advisory board, the Geneva-based Bank of International Settlements. These are the same people that called Bitcoin a privately issued currency. This is the same Augustin Carson, the guy where inflation goes to. The more inflation happens. Anyways, you guys know what I'm going to say. But
all seen Augustine?
But here's the thing, right? Then here's the thing that these bankers don't quite understand, right? Is that they want governments to step in, right? And you see the reaction from the DeFi community. They're like, this can't happen. We have to go to DC. We have to get lobbying people. That's why Coinbase is in bed with the government and selling them, chain analysis software, right? Because they need the government to survive. But you know what? Bitcoin doesn't, and it can't be regulated, because if it could be regulated, it would defeat the purpose. It wouldn't be Bitcoin, and now they're admitting this. Check this out, this article from Bitcoin.com. SEC Commissioner, true decentralized projects pose a challenge to crypto regulation. No shit. A commissioner with the U.S. Securities Exchange Commission says that a true decentralized projects pose a challenge to crypto regulation, noting that decentralized finance carries within itself inherently some abilities to self-regulate. Oh, look at that. Rules without rulers. Let me tell you something else, because he didn't mention this. The only cryptocurrency, and I hate using that word, that has sufficient amount of decentralization to withstand the government attack that is coming. You see this. You see the signs from the articles. You see the signs from Yellen. You see the signs from Christine Lagarde. The only cryptocurrency that has sufficient amount of decentralization to withstand this is Bitcoin. Now, why are they freaking out? Why are they releasing articles like this? Why is the Biden administration being hostile towards cryptocurrencies? Why are they sneaking stuff into the infrastructure bill? Why is Yellen mandating the IRS to monitor every $600 transaction? Because they want to keep the old legacy parasitic system alive. And they are noticing what's happening on the other side. They are noticing the stuff that's coming out of Jack Mallers. Here's another announcement. Now you can get directly, as soon as you get paid, it directly converts to Bitcoin. You can get Bitcoin tips from Twitter directly. You can send remittances almost for free across borders, right? So the Bitcoin experiment is working, and the powers that be know that. So their reaction is to get more and more and more totalitarian. But what they don't realize, and China's going to really pay the price for this, is that Bitcoin is meant to be attacked. The more you attack it, the stronger the Bitcoin network becomes. But anyways, they're noticing this, and this is the death nail in the coffin, and this is what really Steve Hanke has nightmares about this. 20 years, 1.8 million Salvadorians get bank accounts. 20 days, 33 million Salvadorians get Bitcoin wallets. That is why they're shitting their pants. That is why they're trying to pay off the public with this incremental increase of Social Security, even though they've admitted that they're going to run out of money for Social Security in the first place. This is why you have that article in The Guardian about essentially a banker asking the government to step in, even though it's a complete conflict of interest because he works for the main competitor, which is the Bank of International Settlements. With Bitcoin, there's no need for a Bank of International Settlements. People could settle directly, right? So anyways, dude, it's a crazy world. It's a clown world. But you know what, Phil? When I read those articles and when I see the state of affairs of the legacy financial system, I know we're winning. And I know that we're winning big. And get ready, guys, because there's going to be a hell of a lot more heat coming. Anyways, Phil, what are your thoughts?
You know what? It's just, make no mistake, right? The Bitcoin has nothing to do with the coming financial collapse. They were printing money long before Bitcoin ever existed. They're just planning to simply pin it on Bitcoin. And we've been calling it for a while now. And it's just absolutely, I think it's hilarious. I think it's hilarious to see an article about that.
Phil, hold on. Let me interrupt for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
We've been on point since the beginning of the year. We've called this stuff out. Why? Because it's freaking obvious. It's not rocket science. Phil and I aren't PhDs. We're not journalists. We just see the obvious. You print a lot of money. What happens? Inflation, right? And then it's like all these, journalists and the media outlets and all these things. It's like you need regulation. You need this. You need that. El Salvador just proved without regulation, people just downloading a wallet, an application on their phone. Guess what? It's more inclusive. More people are banked. It just, man, all right, I'll shut up.
No, it's all good, man. It's all good. It's a great rant. But look, I really, just to finish up, we can see they are not going to win. They know they're not going to win. We've got that, what's it called? I'm sorry. What was his name? The guy from the Bank of International Settlements? I'm sorry.
Augustine Carson. The guy. Okay, hold on. I have to pronounce.
I'm sorry. We got to just pull it up for a second.
I have to pronounce his name correctly because he's a sir. So he is. Sir John Conliffe.
Conliffe.
Sir
Okay.
John Conliffe. You have to say it correctly, Phil. With the
Conliffe.
pinky out.
Sir
Hold
John
on.
Conliffe.
Here, I'm drinking my tea here with
I don't have tea.
Sir
And I
John.
don't have bullets, and I don't have beer.
Exactly.
But
Sir John Conflict. Suck my balls. All right, sorry, Phil. Go ahead.
so look, I mean, he's an agent of the Bank of International Settlements, right? And they are saying the exact same message as the Federal Reserve, who's also saying the exact same message as the IMF. So look, we've already seen the playbook. We understand exactly what's happening. Okay? They can't defeat Bitcoin. They know they can't defeat Bitcoin. This regulation that they think that they're going to implement is going to do absolutely nothing except cause more people to wake up to the censorship that is happening and obviously the inflation that's happening. So I just, you know what? Bring it on.
They're stuck between a rock and a hard place because their reaction is to censor more. Their reaction is to take more control. And their only weapon is to print more money. And all of that just exacerbates the migration. It just tells people, okay, I'm going to opt out. It just wakes people up more and more and more and more. They planned the banking system and they created this huge moat around it to ensure no competition, but they never expected that Bitcoin was going to become a thing. And now they have buried themselves in the coffin, in the castle that they built for themselves to protect themselves from competition. They can't get out now. They're stuck.
The golden cage, right? Like you said.
The golden cage. So that's from Andreas Antonopoulos before he became a shitcoiner. Anyways, DJ Hunter, DJ Anders is in the house. What do you think? Are we seeing crazy stuff? Are we seeing things that are not there? Are we conspiracy theorists?
We may be, but it's not theories. This is truth. How the evil central bankers are enslaving humanity. Let's get a few things straight here. When they convince people not to have sound money anymore, like gold, but hey, you should have a money that loses value all the time. They managed to convince people of that. It's in your best interest that your savings that you want to, create your own retirement from, you want to, send your kids to school, university, whatever. It's in your best interest that we're going to dilute the value of it year after year. Imagine how they can do, that's possible to convince people that your money should lose value. It's such a scam. Like all the mass media owned by deep state actors together with the weapon industry. Anyways, so yeah, we are being taken for a ride. But I think the important thing is you mentioned Biden in there at some stage, and we're not political, but what I will say is that when we were kids, he made us sing a certain song, Daddy, Daddy cool. Daddy cool. Right?
Daddy cool. Daddy
cool.
Oh, Boney MD, right? Boney M. Fuck yeah.
Oh my
You
God.
know that shit.
Yeah, so they're evil. Yeah, they're evil. They know what they're doing, and they're enslaving humanity. And Satoshi Nakamoto should have the Nobel Peace Prize even 10 years ago because he single-handedly, with the help of Adam Back and some of the smart people there, but more or less he was the guy or group or girl that put together the freeing entire humanity from evil central bankers and their financial rape of generations that have put people into depression, suicide. This world will be a phenomenal place 10 years from now. I'm very optimistic, and this thanks to Satoshi Nakamoto, and not deep state, not thanks to central bankers. The founding fathers of this great nation, they were against central banking, but you need one president that takes some money under the table. I'm not saying they're not all doing that, but somehow they managed to convince in 1913. I guess set up the proper incentives to get that put into to law. to have a central bank that was established by private bankers. It's not federal. There's no reserves. So, yeah, it's a big joke. But thanks God, they don't have a choice. We are taking the power back to the people, and it's wonderful. So on that note, daddy cool.
Boom, dude.
Bullish.
That was an amazing rant. And dude, look, I completely agree. George Washington had literally, like, verbatim, and I'll pull up the quote, literally talking crap about paper money and how it would lead to the enslavement of the people. You have Thomas Jefferson literally talking about how central banks will lead to the situation that we're in it today. And America is perfectly suited because of its system of government. It's the centralized system of government where each individual state has so much sovereignty to take advantage of, the Bitcoin revolution. And I'm calling it here, just like the marijuana industry, on a state level, it became legal, right? On a federal level, it's still illegal. Bitcoin, I suspect, will become legal tender on a state level before it becomes legal on a federal level. But anyways, I definitely agree. I think Satoshi Nakamoto should definitely get a Nobel Peace Prize. And that being said, Pubby, what are your thoughts?
Jesus. Nobel Peace Prize is just the first of it. Hello. How about the prize of economics, peace? Do they have one for engineering? Do they have one for
physics,
science,
Yeah.
science, technology, and engineering? This guy created something that has touched every walk of life, and he crushed it. This guy created the most brilliant, beautiful thing we will ever be privy to seeing. It's goddamn beautiful. So yeah, moving forward, what we have now is a system where the people, like on this show, look, apparently my best friend, he likes a pink scarf and no shirt. And he looks like Hunter Biden. That's my best friend in life right now, okay? This is the world we live in, man. This is the world we live in because he brings the truth, man. He brings the fucking truth. That's why we love each other.
No,
we trust each other.
I say the same thing about Phil. Phil, let's touch fingers. Point your finger. Yeah, touch it. Go. Touch it. Touch it. That way. Yeah, touch the fingers. Pubby, Anders, touch fingers. Touch fingers. Touch fingers. Other way. Other way. Other way.
Pubby, I had a hard time the first
Look, so much love and optimism and hope. This is what Bitcoin is, man. It gives you hope for the future. And exactly what DJ Anders said, even in this world of darkness that we're living through right now, I have never been so optimistic about the future. Anders just said the same thing. Phil has told me the same thing. Pubby, we've said this thing so many times on the Toxic Happy Hour on Spaces on Twitter, which you guys should definitely join. So guys, opt out of the corrupt, enslaved system. Take the goddamn orange pill, buy yourself some freedom money, and we will win this fucking war. Anyways, Phil, there was an open source software release today. Why don't you tell everybody about it?
software releases. All right, we've got Umbrel version 0.4.4 that was released. That is a Bitcoin and Lightning node, and they've got some really cool apps that you could also install from their marketplace. Anyways, check it out down below in the show notes.
Awesome. Thank you, Phil. All right, guys, before we go, get your tickets to Bitcoin 2022. It's going to be the biggest Bitcoin conference of ever. Not of, ever. It's going to be awesome. Meet the plebes in Meet Space. Anders is probably going to go. Pubbies is probably going to go. Phil's probably going to go. I'm probably going to go. Get your tickets to Bitcoin 2022. And there's a link down below. Get yourself 10% off. Check out CryptoCloaks.com for the best Bitcoin 3D printed merch, like the Bitcoin grenade, like the 3D printed honey badger. Get 5% off anything on the store with the link down below, CryptoCloaks.com. Check out Citadel 21 for the best Bitcoin cultural zine. It's stories by plebs, for plebs, pure pleb signal. Get yourself a physical copy. There's only 1,000 made per volume. Citadel21.com. And of course, Pirate Hash. Get some awesome Bitcoin trinkets like a Bitcoin board game, a Bitcoin source poster. It's by the guy that made the UI for Bisq. PirateHash.com. Guys, before we go, I want to give a very, 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 very special shout out to our awesome, awesome brothers in arms. Definitely go give them a follow. You can give Pubby a follow at PubLordHodl on Twitter. You can give DJ Anders a follow at Anders_. And guys, definitely check out, I highly recommend, an awesome pleb signal YouTube podcast thing. It's called The Toxic Happy Hour. You could find it on YouTube. And also, they make spaces a lot, so they have them. I see Pubby making spaces at least 3 times a day. Definitely jump in there. These guys have some awesome guests up there. Pure signal, pleb signal, guys, is the truth. Influencer signal is compromised. Remember that. Guys, that was our show. If you enjoyed the show, you know what to do. Smash that like button. And of course, if you want to continue hearing the catastrophic fails from the communists, the central bankers, which are basically the same thing, and the Bitcoin news from the Bleep perspective, definitely consider subscribing, and we'll see you tomorrow, guys, for another episode of Simply Bitcoin.
The money is broken. Bitcoin fixes this.